Pipeworks is basically a trenchless organisation, so we specialise in trenchless rehabilitation and construction of new pipes. We actually are part of the Fletcher group, and so that gives us a lot of support and backup to allow us to try new ventures and new technologies. This project, while it's a pipe from A to B, is basically a project about protecting the community here and the environment. This area has been suffering from overflows due to rain conditions, and in those extreme rain events we're actually getting a bit of sewage leakage out of the pipes. The duration in terms of actual construction is about 6 months. The pipeline's a 550 OD pipe and it's a kilometre long. When we started talking to overseas companies about this, and we talked to a lot of people that we have relationships with in Australia, we talked about the length, we talked about the size of the rig that we had available to do it, we talked about the flatness of the grade and the depth that this line goes to. The general feedback we got was people told us just to step away from it. All that encouraged us to do is invest in the right areas. So we got the technology in, we brought in specialists with Paratrack systems. You know, there's a lot of specialist skills that need to come together on this, and the Paratrack system, for instance, introduces its own magnetic field so that you're isolating the Earth's magnetic field. So we get a bit more control, get rid of the interference and have a bit more certainty about where we are. And some of the depths here is up to 30 metres below ground that we're trying to accurately pinpoint where our drill head is. In terms of the pipe itself, you know, we went through a risk mitigation sort of process. We settled on fusible PVC. It's a bit different to the conventional sort of pipe. It allows us to have a greater tensile force that we can put into the pipe. It's a smaller diameter. It's got some significant advantages which come through on this job.
What's so exciting about this job and what's so exciting about this whole project was it's the longest thermoplastic pipe pull via HDD in New Zealand. And I'm very excited for these guys. They've done a great job. They were very supportive to us, and everything worked out great.
You know, the mud on directional drilling is extremely critical. So 2 of our senior guys have spent a couple of weeks in Houston, Texas at mud school.
I went to mud school. We needed to focus on recycling our drilling fluid. And the course focused primarily on certain polymers and how they work, and how they actually work with our recycling systems to get the sand out and our mud weights down. Because technically drilling can be a really wasteful project, especially for a project such as this where we've got changing formations from sandstone to rock to clay. It's been a really great process and it's worked really well on this project.
The mud here is everything on a directional drill job. It carries your spoil back out of the hole, it's lubricating the pipe when it goes in, and you've got to change it for the ground conditions. So that technical knowledge that you have to build up is just critical to these jobs. You don't go ahead without it. Working with the Northshore City Council and then ultimately as it's turned into Watercare, that consultation process has had to remain all the way through. So it's keeping that community informed as to where we are, what the project is, what's coming up next. And then if you get people on board like that, it's, you know, you get a good working relationship and we can benefit them, they can help us. Down the other end of the reserve, there's a community group which is actually replanting this whole area. And by working with them, at the end of it, we're creating a new pad which is drainage, which is going to help them actually grow new plants and set them up in a better system when we leave. So they're actually going to be enhanced by us being here and ultimately be better off when we leave. The education that we've been on, I talked before about at the mud school, you know, we've got guys in Houston, Texas studying mud. So the company, in terms of Fletcher Engineering, have supported Pipeworks. This is the first time this pipe's been installed in the Southern Hemisphere. This is all new stuff. It's sort of cutting edge and it's got a lot of potential that it's going to bring for Pipeworks and for the customers, and just generally trenchless technology going forward. It's an advancement, this job.
For mankind, but one great step for Pipeworks.